Alright friends, now that you've got your supplies together, you can either have the ice cream cone printed out from the slide that I have in the slide presentation, or if you can't print this out or you want to do your own, you can just draw your own ice cream cone on a piece of paper. Just make sure you draw it with a permanent marker or a pen, something that's not going to bleed if you get it wet, because the technique I'm going to show you with your markers and how to paint with them is going to use water, so you don't want the black line to bleed at all. If you choose to draw your own, that's fine. You can make a soft serve swirl kind of like this, or you can make scoops if you want to and just stack scoops. You should have 3 sections on top of your cone, and then your base of your cone and the kind of the top of your cone. So altogether you should have 5 sections. You'll need that for the roll-a pattern sheet that you're going to have. So once you've decided if you want to use the hand-drawn one or a printed one, that's completely up to you. Then you're also going to need to have the roll-a design in front of you, either on your device or a printed out copy. You're going to need a pencil and a dice, or you can use the virtual dice that's linked on the slideshow as well if you don't have a dice lying around the house. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our ice cream cone, and we're going to keep this roll-a design sheet handy so we can reference it. And each time you roll the dice, you're going to look down this side for the number that you roll, and that's the pattern that you're going to put in a section of your ice cream cone. So for my first roll, I roll a 5. My roll 1 was a 5, so I come down here, and these are kind of upside down cloud lines. So I'm going to choose a section of my ice cream cone. It doesn't matter which section you start with or where you put your designs. You can put them wherever you want. And then you're just going to draw in your designs lightly with your pencil. Now I'm doing it a little bit harder so you can see it on the document camera, but yours is going to be nice and light so that you don't really see your pencil lines once you color over it. So there's my first design. Now the rest of the designs I'm going to actually speed up, and then I will show you guys how you can color these designs in each one of my sections. I'm going to go ahead and do some coloring. So what I want to do is I want to use lots of different colors, and I want to make sure to make this as colorful and bright as I can. Alright, so you're going to either use crayons or markers, and I'm going to do one section in crayon and one section in marker to show you how you can use both, or one or the other. It's up to you. So I'm going to take a color, and I think I'm going to start with this section right here. And I'm going to do my vertical lines with a blue crayon. And I'm going to press kind of hard because I want my line to be nice and dark with the color. And then the lines going in the opposite direction, my horizontal lines, I'm actually going to do with green. And then I'm going to alternate to make a pattern. And I'm just going to color in using typical pressure, not anything too hard, so it's a little bit lighter than your outline. And I'm just going to make kind of a checkerboard pattern with interesting. Okay. So there's that first section colored. So I did that one with crayon. Now, I'm going to show you how you can use markers to paint with. And for this one, I'm going to do the castle line here. And I'm actually going to use purple because I love purple. Most of you already know that. And I'm going to use the wide side of my marker. So the edge, the side of my marker, not the tip of my marker. The tip of my marker is going to give me a fine line. The side of my marker gives me a little bit thicker line, and that's what I want because I want to get as much pigment on the paper as I can so I can pull it off using a damp paintbrush. Now, it does help if your markers are washable. These are not washable. They still work fine for this activity, but you just get a little bit more color if you use washable ones. So if you have the option, use the washable ones. But these work just fine too, and you'll see in just a second what I mean by that. So you see how I'm going kind of with the side of my marker. I don't want the tip because I want a nice thick line. And I'm just tracing over my design or texture, whatever line you did in that section. And then to paint with our markers, you're going to need a small glass of water, and you need a brush that's kind of thin. It's small. You don't want a big thick brush because you want to be able to get into the details. So you're going to get a brush and a little bit of water, and you're probably going to want a paper towel or a sponge to dab your brush on just so that it's not dripping wet. You don't want to put a hole in your paper, so don't use too much water. And then all you do is you take your brush and you just start to pull the pigment away from the line that you drew with the marker and use it to paint in the white area next to it. And I wish I had remembered this technique earlier in all of this distance learning, because it could have been really cool for those of you that have markers at home but don't have any paints, because you can kind of create your own paints this way. But now you know, and you can create paintings with your markers all summer long if you want to. Alright, so there's that one. And then I'm going to skip this next line and I'm going to make another pattern within my pattern. I'm going to do a white line and a purple line. You see I'm just kind of swirling my brush tip around, pulling that pigment from my marker lines to paint in the white area next to them. Now, you can see up here where I got a little too much water and it kind of bled a little bit. That's okay, but that just shows you what happens when you use a little too much water. I'll do one more area down here. Alright, and I'm going to leave it at that and let you guys go off and start doing your designs and making these nice and bright and colorful, and I'll show you what this looks like at the end.